Hello and welcome to Motivational Monday. I hope that you had a wonderful week. I just want to forewarn you, if you hear any squeaking in this video, my children are upstairs right now cleaning their room. For the last several weeks, and I talked about this in one of my other Motivational Monday posts, that I've just been getting this huge urge to clean, to just get things cleaned up, get rid of things that I don't need, to rearrange rooms in a way that just feels more in alignment with what I'm needing. And right now, with primarily being in the home for this past year, I'm just really feeling like a need for change, like a freshen up of space. So that's one of the reasons why today it looks a little different in the background, because I revamped my whole sound healing room into more of an office space, a spiritual office space, where I put all my singing bowls and things over in my music studio. So all my music instruments, well, almost all of them, are now in my music studio. And this is just another space that I can come to that just feels really light and joyful. And it's just what I need. And here's what I have found by making this change. So now when I'm working downstairs, I sometimes move between my music studio and between the office, and I just feel more energized. I put a fountain in my studio. I've got just other things going on here. I've got a diffuser and whatnot, just things that help me to feel relaxed. But in essence, it's also giving me just more energy, and I just feel good all around. So I've been literally redoing the whole house, essentially. I've been kind of like, as I go from room to room, reorganizing things. So my kids' room is next, and we are going to get that clean and organized and refreshed and attempt to keep it that way. I know with kids, it's a little hard to get them on board with the picking up, cleaning up, or the organization systems. So if you're feeling that right now as a parent, I get it. But I really feel like right now, with the way the energy is and change and just, everything that's going on in the world, there's a need for us to make sure that the spaces that we live in feel aligned with how we want to feel. And what I mean by that is, sometimes what can happen is when we don't feel very connected internally, our house can start to look like that externally, right? If we're feeling a little messy inside, sometimes the house gets messy. And, when you're living with more than just one person in your house, and you've got all these different feelings and emotions combining together, it can get a little chaotic and crazy, because if someone else is creating chaos because they're feeling chaotic inside and they're creating that externally on the outside, it can be easy to want to get swept into the chaos. I know for me personally, sometimes I get very unmotivated to clean if other family members are creating more messes because they feel messy inside. But I know personally, and I want to encourage everybody to start doing this, that if that doesn't align with you or your purpose or how you feel or how you want to be feeling, then you need to make sure you're cleaning up your space. We are not able to control other people's thoughts, feelings, emotions, or the choices of what they do. Like in terms of my children, I can teach them how to clean up, the value and how that feels. But ultimately, I can't force them either. We can have consequences, but ultimately, if they are creating chaos in their space, then I, as a parent, need to step in and figure out what is going on with them that they're feeling that way. Why are they feeling chaotic? Why are they feeling messy? And right now, a lot of people, not just kids, but we're going to revert to kids right now. They have had to deal with so much change, just like all of us, but not being able to maybe be in school like they're used to, or having school differently, and not being able to socialize in the way that they're used to socializing. It can get to the point where they start to feel unmotivated because they're not really going out or doing anything. So even that idea of, hey, kids, go out and play, where they may have been going out and playing all the time, you might have found that they're more apt to go, no, I'll just stay in the house. And I think that a lot of times then reflects back to their own personal space. Because if they're not feeling motivated to do things, then of course the last thing they're going to want to do is pick their stuffed animals off the floor and put them where they belong. Like, they just, whatever, like, there it is, whatever. Like, that seems to be what's going on a lot now. Like, people are just like, well, whatever, everything's changing, I can't handle it, I'm just going to put this here and just ignore it until I can't ignore it anymore. Well, we do that a lot with our feelings. Now, I'm an open book. I want to talk about my feelings. I want to express my feelings to the point where I probably make some people very uncomfortable, especially people who don't want to talk about their feelings or deal with their feelings, right? But here's the ultimate thing. We can't just put it over there, forget about it, walk by it all day long, and act like it's not there. It's like the elephant in the room. If you know the elephant's in the room and you don't want to deal with the elephant in the room, eventually something's going to happen where that elephant's going to get in your way, and you're going to have to face it and deal with it and look at it. And I think a lot of times when we're internally stuffing, if we're someone who are stuffing our feelings and emotions and we're not really looking at them, that's where it could be just a random thing, like that piece of trash that fell on the floor and you said, oh, I'll pick it up later. And later's like a month later and you're like, oh my gosh, that piece of trash is still there, I should pick that up. Well, what is that piece of trash representative of? Is it maybe a loss of a relationship that you didn't want to deal with? Is it a loss of a job? Is it the loss of yourself? Did something happen where you just stopped taking care of you? So why it doesn't matter that there's trash on the ground, because now when if you forget about yourself, especially, who cares if there's trash on the ground? Food for thought. So here's what I want to encourage you this week. I want you to really look at your house. Like, look at it. All the good, bad, ugly. Or maybe you're one of those people that keeps everything nice and neat for others to see. Like, someone comes into your home and you're like, it looks almost museum-esque. However, the closet is crazy. So where is that part of your life that's representative in your house? I'm getting a little bit more now about this whole making appearances look a certain way on the outside, but having messy cabinet drawers and closets and like crazy chaotic closets, that usually has a lot to say about what are we hiding. We want people to think that everything looks pretty on the outside, right? The hair's perfect. You've got this nice decoration over in the corner, but your drawer's a hot mess. The closet's a hot mess. That's really easy when we start to hide. That's us hiding. Well, if I shove it in the closet and I close the door, then I don't have to look at it. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to see it. I don't have to know what's going on. If I shove it in the closet and I can't see it, if I shove it in the closet and I can't see it, no one else is going to see it either because I hid it and then I have to look at it. But the thing that is important to remember, when you start to shove things in the closet, when you start to shove your emotions and feelings in the closet, thinking that no one else can see, a lot of times what happens is a lot of our choices and decisions that we make come from that crazy chaos that we have hiding in the closet, or we have hiding in the cabinet drawer, because we're not really being true to ourselves. And I get it, okay? Just as guilty. My house is a mess. I have stuff hanging everywhere. It's not just me, it's also other family members, but I got sucked into that. And I allowed myself to get sucked into that, and it just never felt good. And I'm not saying that your house has to be perfect. Some mess looking livable is, there's nothing wrong with that. I want my house to look like it's lived in and it's comfortable. But it's when, you have stuff all over your floor, or you've got dirty dishes just piling up, or your laundry you haven't got done in weeks and weeks and weeks, and you're just feeling unmotivated. Like, let's take the time and think about what is creating that. And what do you need to do in order to work through that? What do you have to do for the self-care in order to allow yourself to start taking care of you better? And trust me, once I started listening to my inner guidance, I kept hearing, you got to switch these rooms around downstairs. We were working, and I did. And I'm so happy I did it, because it's been a week now and it feels great. And what I love about the spaces is certain things I can do in each room, and it just works really well. But because I did that, because my workspaces now feel lighter and more alignment with me and how I want to feel inside and how I really do feel inside when I take care of myself, it's motivating me to do everything else, to pick up and clean up and take care of everything else and try to set a better example for the rest of my family as to why that's important. And you have to remember too, like, you have to stand up for what is important for you. You can't always sacrifice your own health, mental, emotional, physical health, because other people are just bogged down and don't want to take care of their own stuff. All right? You can't allow yourself to get swept up in their world, because that's where you start to lose sight of you. You start to lose sight of your inner peace. You start to lose sight of what's important to you. So really actively allow yourself space. Create a space that really focuses on what's important to you and who you are and what your needs are at this time. And give yourself the time and the ability to sit in those spaces, to sit and enjoy yourself in those spaces. Like I said, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I'm doing this. And I'm really looking forward to this week when we keep revamping my kids' room and just get that in a healthier space for them so that they've got more space. It's more organized. They feel like they can be in there and enjoy themselves, because at this point they're not even enjoying. I really don't feel like they're enjoying being in there. So, let's be a good example for the people in our lives, and let's be a good example for ourselves, and really take the time this Motivational Monday to just sit down and maybe journal some thoughts and feelings. Like I said before, look around your house. Where are the messes? Where are the messes that you haven't wanted to deal with? Do a little journaling on that. Ask yourself, like, why don't I want to do this? What is going on with that? What is that representing in my life that I might not want to deal with right now? And take the time and start working through it. And as always, give yourself grace and be kind to yourself. And remember, this happens over time. So even for me personally, when I cleaned up these rooms, it's not 100% where I want it. As I find the time, I take sections of what I want to work on and go through, and I give myself the time to do that. And then when I have time again, I go through sections and I work through things, and I give myself the time to do that. So the biggest thing is don't look at it and go, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get it done. Because ultimately, like everything in life, you've got to take the steps. You've got to take the baby steps. You have to take the initiative in order to even get it moving in the direction that you want it to be in. And you have to give yourself the time. You have to take the time, and you have to understand that, you know, you might be able to clean up one space in a couple hours. It might take you a couple weeks to clean up another. Same with us. We're like, we're onion layers, right? We can clean up one thing. We think we got it. We feel really good about it. But the next time we turn around and there is something else that, oh, this is creeping up again. There's something else I need to work on. All right? And this is not a sign of weakness. Any of you that are out there telling yourselves that if I'm vulnerable, if I feel my feelings, if I cry, well, then everybody's going to look at me like I'm weak. No, let it go. The more you let go of those feelings that no longer serve you, the more you will be able to stay connected to you, the authentic part of who you are. What your soul wants you to be in this lifetime. That's what's important, because that is how you will carry yourself in a strong, amazing way, because that's you. You will carry yourself like you, not the chaos and the turmoil or what you see on the outside, the chaos and the turmoil you've created. That's not you. That's not a representation of you. That's a representation of the things that you need to work on so that you can be stronger. But it's not the core of who you are. It's not the authentic part of who you are. So give yourself the time to work through it and to heal, and you will be much better for it. Okay, that might have felt a little bit like a lecture, and sometimes when I get guidance, it just comes out that way. So I hope that you were able to really ingest that and receive it. What I want to do is I want to just take a minute and let's just breathe. Let's just breathe through that. And so let's take that deep breath in through the nose, let it out through the mouth. What I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, and I really want you to think about what is joy and peace and bliss look like to you? What does that look like in your dwelling? What does that look like internally? As you take your deep breaths in and out, we're just going to do this for about a minute. I want you to imagine, like, what do you think that would feel like to be connected, to be at peace, to walk into your house and just feel at peace, that your home feels peaceful. Okay, nice deep breath in. Another nice deep breath in. In. Okay, and feel free to check some of my sound healing exercises that are on my YouTube channel, so that you can do some breath work and some visualization. If you're interested, I am having a online sound healing session this week, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is $10. You will receive a recording. I would love to have you there. Please sign up. Link's going to be in the down below. My brain went blank. And also, I am offering a soul sound voice connection class. I am going to move it, though. I had some things going on, and I'm going to move it to February. So if you go to my website and click on services, my website's tuneinwithmolly.com, and click on services, you can sign up for that in there as well. I really hope to see you in there. And please take care of yourself this week and every week. But find out what brings you some peace and joy, and allow that to reflect inside as well as out. Love and light to you. Have a beautiful week.